Hello, YouTube. Not many know this, but at least not on YouTube. But I'm a substitute teacher. I've done that for 3 years now, and I wanted to make a video on just some thoughts I've had about the school system and, in particular, bullying. And instead of focusing on the student side, I want to focus this video on the teacher side. A quick rundown of the student side, though, just have it out there, is obviously we need to teach students certain tactics, to ignore bullies, to report bullying, to ask them to please stop, right? And the reason, of course, kids, I mean, if you don't know why, but ignoring bullies really works because if they're not getting a reaction out of you, like you're not doing stuff to make them laugh, they get bored. It's kind of like trying to bully a wall or a rock, right? It gets boring if it doesn't react. So if you just literally ignore them for days and days and days and days, just don't say anything, don't do anything. If they're just saying stuff, just ignore them, and they'll usually try and take it to the next level, right? Like if they're used to getting a reaction to you from you, they'll try and take it to the next level, try and start poking you or coloring on you, or whatever. And those things you should react to. You can be like, hey, I'm going to tell the teacher if you do that again. Just don't do that anymore. I'm just going to tell the teacher. Like, I don't care if you guys think I'm a tattletale. Just say it just like that. Um, just be assertive about it, be calm, rehearse it in your head if you have to build up that bravery, um, and just tell them that's what you're going to do, and then go and do it. Just if they keep telling like, hey, listen, they keep coloring on me, look at my arm, or look at my shirt, or it keeps poking me, you need to move us because I'm not liking this, and they bother me every day. And tell your teacher this 3, 4 times a day. If that teacher doesn't do anything, you could tell a different teacher. Still having problems, tell the principal, okay? Just deal with your problems, okay? Um, Before you go to the teacher, you can definitely just confront them. Like, listen, if you do this to me anymore, we're going to have problems. I'm going to tell the teacher, and I don't want to sit next to you. I don't want you to talk to me. I just don't want to deal with you. So I'm just going to do it till you get detention after detention. Okay? Um, and just follow through with what you say. So tell them to stop, ignore them, tell the teacher. Those are your things. If you use them wisely, they're going to work. Okay. So that's, I mean, you see, student side of things that kids can do. Last thing kids can do, I want to say, is what's really important to me to say, is that students, if you come to realize that you need to love yourself for who you are, you need to love yourself for exactly how tall you are, for having glasses, for having, like, I have a mole right here, it's hard to see on my camera, but just for every single thing you are. I have a scar right here on my lip. Um, all of your imperfections and all of your perfections. I'm naturally strong. I've, I'm decent at basketball. Just all of everything that you are. You just have to accept it. It's just who you are, and that's okay. And you can still do great things, and you can still do a lot of stuff. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You just have to first accept yourself for who you are and realize that other people's opinions don't matter. Like, they don't change your value. You're valuable because you're a human being, because you're a person. That's what makes you valuable. Just because one more person likes you in the class doesn't also make you more valuable. Or if another person's born tomorrow in China and they dislike you, doesn't make you less valuable. So stop letting them determine how you feel. Just ignore it. Who cares if they like you or dislike you? It doesn't affect who you are inside. You can love yourself regardless. And if you have that attitude, that self-love, that can enable you to do whatever you want without worrying about the judgment. Okay? That is your protection. That's your shield. Realizing that their opinion doesn't make you better or worse. If you score an A on a test and you used to score a B, it doesn't make you more valuable. It doesn't make you a better person. Okay? It can be nice if it happens, but don't value yourself on it. If you score an F, don't be like, oh, I'm worthless. You're valuable because you're a person. You're valuable because you're you. Just remember that. Your teacher's opinion doesn't matter. Your friend's opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't have any friends. Their opinions don't matter to begin with. But if people are bothering you and harassing you, yeah, deal with it so you don't have to be annoyed every day. You go up to the teacher, tell them they're being rude and mean, tell them what they did, etc. Just, follow the steps. Ignore them, tell them to stop, go to the teacher. Um, and if you don't have any friends in class, of course, one thing you want to do is go look around you and be like, hey, listen, I don't have any friends right now, so it can't get any worse than that in the classroom. So I might as well just go and do something else, like go talk to someone you don't normally talk to, right? Just talk to them for the hell of it. Talk to the other loser kid or whatever, right? Maybe you guys both read Naruto or both like the same video game or whatever. And you could talk to them, or both saw the same movie last weekend, or both play the same board games or watch the same TV shows. Like you both watch American Idol or The Voice or The X Factor, right? Whatever show might be popular then. Or you both play Call of Duty, right? So, or whatever it happens to be, you both do have the same nail colors or the same shoes. Yeah, just go talk to them. And another thing you can do too is, uh, one additional thing you can do aside from just ignoring bullies is you can make friends out of bullies. I know that sounds weird or strange or awkward, but just ignore all the stupid stuff they've ever done and everything they said. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it affect you. Put yourself on another planet, another world. You're not here. You're not in the classroom. Those things don't matter. And they really honestly don't. Like, it really doesn't matter what the person next to you thinks. Like, if they think you're cool, it honestly doesn't matter. That's just their opinion, right? It's completely subjective. That same person could think you're not cool, or they could think you're cool. It's just a subjective opinion that could be anything, right? So don't let that affect your value. But another thing is just try something different for a change. You can go talk to someone you don't normally talk. It doesn't have to be. It could be anybody. It could be the most popular kid in the class. It could be the least popular. It's not going to change anything, and who cares what the response is? But like, just go up. Hey, how was your weekend? Whatever. Maybe they'll say something stupid. Maybe they won't. Or you could say something like, or wait till they do something. Like if they're reading a certain book and you read that book, like, oh sweet, how far are you in that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I read that last week. And they're like, oh, cool. Um, yeah, and you can just talk to them. But what you don't want to do is don't let people use you. Don't let people use you for homework or to cheat off you or whatever. You're not going to make friends that way. So, trust me. Um, much better to have just a real conversation with somebody and have friends that will like you for you. So, and you can just do that just by talking to people. Talk to the people you don't normally talk to. Don't isolate yourself. That's my tip to the kids. Now the teachers and principals. I had some interesting anti-bully ideas aside from just teaching the kids what I just said in this video, and then showing it and reinforcing it, and showing that you're going to support them. Is to try to get more involved with the kids. And here's what I mean. Like during lunch, I think it'd be really neat if uh, if that the teachers would, like, maybe let's say you have middle school lunch, right, 6th through 8th or 5th through 8th or whatever, right, is during that lunch period you could have teachers from 1st and 2nd grade be the lunch monitors in that lunchroom, and make like 2 or 3 teachers be the lunch monitor, not just one, and you'll see why. And that way you could have teachers sit at different tables and literally talk with the kids, interact with them, ask them what movies they went to, you know, if they went to the park, what they do over the weekend, what classes they're liking, how's homework going, blah blah, and just ask them and you'll start to notice the social dynamics of the situation. Who's talking the most? Who's the most popular kid? Who's very quiet? And you can bring that quiet person into the conversation, make them feel welcome, and that's another way you can help facilitate um, being a bridge between different groups of people and making sure that no kid's being bullied in your classroom. So that way you can see it. A lot of times the bullying can be invisible to you. You're too stressed out, too busy working, just trying to get through the day, and you don't realize that actually engaging the kids can be a lot of fun. It could be a stress reliever. It could make teaching the class that much easier because you're getting along with them, or you're connecting with them, you're clicking with them now. You're on the same page. You're no longer in your time period, oh, I don't get what kids nowadays do or why they act or why they like the songs. There's no longer this disconnect because you're just having a dialogue with them. Yeah, you're going to come from that dialogue with your own biases and your own past experiences, and you're going to, want to be judgmental, but I would say reserve those judgments and just talk and listen and just go with the flow, right? And they'll just naturally, their opinions and attitudes will change because they'll start to reflect yours just through example and through talking. It doesn't have to be direct. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that'd be a really great program. That way, like, the first and second grade teacher, could then report to the principal, like, hey, I really think this person's being bullied or they're saying some weird things, and we'll get a lot more truth out of the situations, and we'll see, and we'll help stop bullying to begin with, just because we'll connect with the kids. So I really think a program like that needs to be started in all schools, um, and I think it'll really change how schools are run, and these are really simple changes. And I'm sorry, teachers, that this is normally your free time hour, but if you're being paid to work and you're trying to work for the kids genuinely, at all times we just have to think about how do we make this a better school environment, and we just have to make those sacrifices. And the last thing I want to say is it can be infinitely rewarding um, to engage with kids and get to know them. You'll learn stuff from them, and you'll teach them a lot as well. So that was my first idea. And I say like first and second to watch middle school, and maybe the middle school teachers to watch the little kids, just because I do worry. I don't want that the teacher student relationship to be too much of a friendship relationship. I want there to be respect and discipline as well, so they understand that they need to listen to you when you talk, and that you're the teacher and they're the student. And I think that relationship needs to be established. So maybe mixing which teachers are being the quote unquote buddies at the lunch table um, um, for the grades would be a good idea. I don't know. I'm not really sure how bad an idea would be to do the same ones, but a quick solution if you're hesitant to do that. I think done correctly, it doesn't matter who does it. As long as they in the classroom the tone is set that this is a place of learning and that I'm the teacher and you're the student, right? Like, hey, right now we can't talk about that. We need to do our work. Afterwards we can talk, right? To establish that distancing while teaching. So I think it can be done, but there are different ways to approach the problem. One is just to swap which teachers go with which tables. So I think that'd be a really great thing, great opportunity for teachers to enhance their own skills of connecting with kids, getting to know them, and also, probably most importantly, is to figure out which kids are being left out and pull them into the conversation. They'll make a comment that these guys will normally think is annoying and whatever just because they aren't friends with that person. They don't really talk to them, so they kind of dismiss their comments. But you, being this new person, this centerfold, can really highlight that comment, like, oh, that is actually really interesting, and make it a relevant comment and make it a part of the conversation that's fun, right? And help them feel welcome. And in the future, other comments they make will just naturally start to feel welcome because you've always made them feel welcome. And you'll find that kids that say annoying comments or act out often are just doing it for attention, and that if you can get them comfortable with the other kids, they'll stop saying annoying comments and stop acting out, and they'll just be it's more of a cycle, right? So they got outcasted, so now they're annoying, and now because they're annoying, they're outcasted more, but because they're outcasted more, they get less attention, so they have to find a way to get attention so they become more annoying, right? So it's a cycle that keeps feeding itself. So if you can give them attention, acknowledge them, bring their comment to light in a positive way so that other people enjoy it, then those people who enjoy the conversation will get used to them talking and will begin responding more positively. And they'll give them attention so they don't have to be annoying. They can make a constructive comment. Their constructive comment gives them more attention so they don't have to be annoying. They get more constructive comment, and it just brings them back into the circle. Okay? So it's really important that teachers also play this role. Okay? So we're trying to develop kids of the future that are strong and healthy on many different levels, not just know, in 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Okay. Another idea of mine was to like have a rotation of counselors so that during each semester, like there'll be like say every student per, let's say you break up the school in 2 semesters, every student has to visit a counselor twice a semester. And they just go in there, it's usually like a 5 to 6 minute conversation, blah blah, some how school is, how's home life, how are your friends, blah blah, what did you do over the weekend, casual conversations, anything, anything troubling you, anything bothering you, stuff like that. Try to prod deeper and whatever. Um, Ask them if they'd like to talk to any of the other teachers, something like along those lines. And yeah, and or just don't even ask if they want to talk to other teachers because they might just try and take advantage of that to eat more school time, right? So what you can do is offer them like just remember that after school, you can go to any of the teachers if you have questions, or anything you want to talk about. So um, yeah, just remind them of that before they go. That way, if they don't feel comfortable telling you something, but they really identified with another teacher, maybe this teacher skateboards and they skateboard and they got along, they have great conversation, there's this connection and bond, right? And they just feel comfortable talking to that teacher because of some similar experiences. Then just you can just remind them, well, after school, feel free to go to any teacher if you have anything that you wanted to say or add that you didn't. I'm like, okay, cool, have a great day. And do that, with each of the kids, and really identify any kid that you feel is struggling and facilitate that. So that's another one of my ideas. And just have a rotation of which teachers on that duty. So it's not just the same teacher every year. You could just first semester these 2 teachers had it, next semester these other 2 teachers had it. I'd actually like to see a rotation that involved all of the teachers throughout the whole year, and that which alphabet letters that they got assigned changed, so that eventually, like if let's say the school is 1 through 8th, that teacher should have seen every kid multiple times. Every teacher should have counseled every kid multiple times. That's just my thoughts. I don't think it'd be too hard to set up that system, but you'd have to just brainstorm some ideas. Just rotating based upon the alphabet. If you have 10 teachers, break up the alphabet into 10 parts or whatever. You could do it that way, and then just rotate who gets paired up with what from year to year. Okay. Another role teachers and principals can help with bullying is to really try to get as near as 100% of the school body. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I mean it. To get 100% of the school body involved in some sort of sport or activity outside of school. I know that all parents can't afford this or don't have the time to do it, or transportation and various other issues, but really pushing that kids get involved in this, because sports definitely encourage physical health, which is very well known to lower stress and promote clear thinking and overall happiness and build confidence. Um, but it also helps build teamwork, responsibility, relying on each other, meeting your obligations. It is really and it also puts you in a different social atmosphere, so you get to deal with kids from in different ways socially. So one's a school setting, and one's now as you know as a sport. Encourage your coach to value playing your students over winning. Um, in my opinion, when I watch like middle school basketball and stuff and soccer, I don't think, like, we don't have like professional coaches. I mean, they're just normal people coaching. So if you're really looking just to win, I don't think I think if you put in your time and research, you could win and still play every single student. You might say that sounds hard, but I think especially in middle school, um, that I don't think that'd be too daunting of a task. But I might be wrong there, but anyway, the real point is you need to value playing your students, giving them confidence. Say, hey, this game we're going to get you to make a shot, and get every single player on board. Like, hey, let's say a person doesn't shoot very much. Like, hey, we're going to get you the ball. You're making a shot. Especially if you know the game's already lost and whatever, just whatever. Give them the time. Develop those characters. Like, hey, you're going to drive the ball. You're going to call the play. You're going to make the first pass. Okay, and they might fail miserably, but rehearse it in practice. Whatever. Get them used to it. It's more about developing the student than it is about the game. The game is irrelevant. The game could be, hit the ball with your head, and that's the game. But you're just trying to develop the person. Like, the game is secondary. So try to get every student involved in some sort of sport or activity outside of school. That's something that teachers can very well do. They could be posting about summer leagues and internships, summer leagues and camps and all of that stuff and stuff to do during the school year, the times, the fees, everything. Just have it, posted up on a wall. Bring it up, before registration quite a bit, about transportation, about everything, about financial aid, anything that they need. But try to get them involved in it, offer them extra credit, various things, just to encourage them to do it. So the kids involved in it get a pizza party at the end of the school year. Something fun. Little kids will go for those little things. The other thing that teachers and parents and I mean, I'm not going to get into the parents on this video, but teachers and principals can do is confidence building exercises. So, if you're like a Catholic school, you can just rotate who says um, the like morning prayer, like on the intercom for the whole school, or who's a server boy or server girl in mass, or who offers up the petitions, or who sings the songs, depending how you do your music. Various things like that. Um, Playing different roles, holding up signs, making signs, like have a rotation that every kid has made signs for school events, right? Or was in charge of, with the teacher assisting, of course, with scheduling some sort of event, right? Just teach them different skills. Um, what else do I want to say about that? Oh, really easy ones is like, so you're a gym teacher, you could do like 3-on-3 basketball and have a rule that every student has to make a point. Every person on your team has to make a point. First to 5 wins, right? You do a rotation, like say, so 3-on-3 would be 6 kids. So 4 teams would be 12 kids. You'd have 8 teams of 3. Let's say you have 24 kids, and depending how many basketball hoops, you might even be able to do half court with 3-on-3. Yeah, you easily could. Depending on how many basketball hoops, you can just run as number of teams as many as possible as you can at once, and you can have the other ones doing like physical fitness exercise, like push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, lunges, stretches, etc. And then as soon as those games get over, you swap the rules and just record the results, and then just you can have a little tournament this way, you know. Or also they could just play like other little side games if you do it outdoors. Like these guys could be on the playground while they do that. And then yeah, just have a rule that each team has to have everyone score, and and you could also have like a student that's not in like reffing each game, right? Watching, making sure that everyone scores, and just try to pick the kids that'll tell you the truth, that'll be reliable. And you can watch the game yourself as well. So um, yeah, I mean that's just great for just building confidence and teamwork, and also getting kids that don't normally work together to work together. So you could assign the teams as opposed to letting them pick. That way they can start playing with people that aren't normally their friends, and maybe they'll realize, hey, this kid that they usually ignore is really good at basketball, and he made the game-winning shot, right? Small little things like that can have rippling effects as far as like confidence and building friendships. Um, what else? Oh yeah, like You could do like public speaking, like have everyone do a project in your class, like a history project or a science project or whatever, right? And each student, has to give a 5 minute um, topic about it, and then answer, 3 minutes worth of questions, right? And maybe you can make them do it in pairs if they're nervous to talk in front of the class, so that way they have a person with them. But the rule is that each person has to talk for at least 2 minutes, right? So do these little exercises to help develop their skills. Um, and you can make them do a poster with it. That way, maybe the person most shy about talking can just like point to the poster stuff and just kind of like, hey, this picture is put up here because it was the Egyptian god Anubis who has a dog on his a dog head for his actual head. So like, I don't know. So like whatever you want to say about that, like if you toss a bone, he might chase it. He's also known for being the god of fleas. Like, no, I'm just kidding. He's not. But just like have them do like a presentation like that. You can coach them and whatever. And then also I would say, like, say during language arts class or during reading class, is have them read aloud. But when you do, practice this good delivery of reading loud enough that everyone hears, have it paced so that everyone can follow. They're not like rushing it, right? Um, and and yeah, and those would be the two big ones I would say. Just make it loud enough and paced well. And obviously, as people get really good readers, they can emphasize the right words and they can not talk in monotone ways, like maybe I have throughout most of this video. But to be more of an exciting reader. But the important thing here is that the kids will just build up that confidence to talk loudly, right? Like, hey, you don't talk like that during recess. You don't go, and in Rome, and Julius Caesar did, right? You don't like whisper like super soft, whatever. Um, so, um, yeah, just have them practice that. And if they do it wrong, be like, hey, you know what? You're gonna repeat that last. I want you to repeat that last sentence. And I've done this in classes. You want you to repeat that last sentence, and I'm gonna stand all the way in this corner, and I want to be able to hear you, loud and clear. Okay, I want everyone to be able to hear you in this room. And they'll do it a little better, and then you just come back to them next time, and you tell them great job, and you just develop this practice. It just builds up that confidence, as well as practicing delivery skills. So. That's another thing they can do in gym too, is not only uh, develop skills or develop confidence, but develop skills. Like the teacher should look up exactly how to do these things properly and teach them like right? Like how do you throw a dodgeball? Like there's ways. One, you can like use your arm, but there are other ways where you can use your body and twist and throw it, and that's actually how anyone who plays dodgeball or even pitches like baseball will pitch their whole bodies into the pitch. And that's how they get so fast. And some kids just pick that up more naturally than others. So teaching them proper techniques, I think that'd just be really cool. That if that it's taught at a really high level, like how to do stuff, how to play volleyball or basketball or whatever, very high and technical level, so they can actually be taught like real skills as opposed to it just being a for fun slash fitness and health. I mean, before it was just for fun. Now it's for fun and fitness. And I think it could be for fun, for fitness, for proper technique, so they can learn like, hey, this is how you play ping pong like really well. This is how you're supposed to hit the ball. This is how you're supposed to grip the paddle, whatever. Teach them techniques. Or basketball is how you shoot it, and just have drills and whatever, like basketball camp in there. Then have them play actual games, and everyone will play a lot better, right? So we can now have skills, fun, health, and I think another one is needed to be character building and confidence building, and that should be um, in every class. And that's another way to deal with bullying is when they have good character and confidence, they're going to deal with bullies a lot better. They're going to report it, and bullies aren't going to get to them. Anyway, those are my thoughts on how to reduce bullying in schools.